Joining us now is RNC Chair Michael Whatley. It's great to have you here. And the former president is here. He's here for the trial, but he's trying to, I think, make the most of what he can with the time that he has. So he went early yesterday morning. A couple things. A poll here, call for number 4, is Biden losing support in New York. He's still up 23. But here's what Trump said yesterday, call for 1, about the possibilities of winning New York.
We're very close in New York, I understand, and we're leading in the country by a lot. Normally, a Democrat will win New York. Biden is the worst president in history, and we have some very bad people here, but we have the greatest people, and they're right behind me. And they all want us to run.
You know, maybe a typical Republican from years ago, you'd say, why even bother to try to win New York? And this might be different. I just want to hear from you from the RNC. Are you putting resources in to try to win New York?
Look, I think the fact that the president is here and he is talking about playing in New York, he's talking about a rally in New Jersey, just shows you he's playing offense. You know, and I think that what we're doing is we're opening up the map. The president, Biden, right now is playing defense all across the country, and President Trump is playing offense all across the country. We're leading in the national polls, we're leading on the issues, and we're leading on the polls in every single battleground state. So while he's here, he's certainly going to take advantage of the opportunities that are here. You look at the bodega visit that he had last week. You look at the construction visit that he had yesterday while Joe Biden was still in bed. You know, these are opportunities that he has to connect with everyday Americans. And these are the people that he's waking up every day and thinking about and he's fighting for. And it really is truly showing a connection.
I learned yesterday in the NFL draft that offense wins championships. So now I'm feeling like I'm in the know. Jason Murray, who is the steamfitter union guy who was on with Jesse Waters last night, he also had this to say about apparently they're not even hearing from Biden. Watch.
Our business manager, who was on TV, he reached out to every single presidential candidate to see if they wanted to address our membership. And he got a response directly from Trump, directly from RFK, and he has not received a single email or memo from Biden or his team.
So union membership might be wanting to vote for Trump, but the union leadership seems to always, at the end, they'll flirt with the Republicans, but they'll end up going with the Democrats. Do you see that happening here?
No, I don't. I think that that the leadership needs to follow their members. You know, we saw Ronald Reagan carry a huge amount of union members. We've seen other presidential candidates. George W. Bush did fantastic among the union membership. And Donald Trump is going to as well because he understands them and he connects with them. And you contrast, you know, the last time that Joe Biden was on camera talking to union members and yelling at them as opposed to what we saw yesterday with President Trump here. It's just a remarkable difference because he is working for everybody in the lower class. He's working for the middle class. He is working for people who see the American dream.
I noticed this today. This is the first piece of news in Axios this morning. This is a newsletter that says they had a scoop. It says Biden changes walking routine to Marine One. That aides usually walking with Biden in journalist camera position outside the White House. The visual effect is to draw less attention to the 81-year-old's halting and stiff gait. Understandably, they felt like he maybe looked a little isolated when he's out there. He also sometimes takes questions shouted at him from the press. That drives me insane. But regardless of that, this whole issue of who's older, who looks older, who has more energy, who has mental acuity to be able to do this job for the next 4 years, where do you guys come down on trying to exploit that?
President Biden's team has a really hard time right now because they either are going to shield him from the press or they are going to allow him to interact with the press. And when he does, it never goes well. You know, this is a guy who does not show well on TV. He is going to bed at 4:30 in the afternoon. We're already running events with Donald Trump out there before the guy even gets out of bed. So the contrast could not be bigger. And they really do have a quandary. Are they going to shield him and hide him, or are they going to actually trot him out there and try and let him, you know, show the American people what's really happening?
A last question for you is, this week, the small dollar donation information came out, the reports, and Act Blue, the Democrats' version, getting a ton of donations. Is that a concern to you, and do the Republicans have a way to counter it?
Yeah, look, we know that the Democrats are going to have a ton of money. They always have a ton of money. That is absolutely not a surprise. What we've seen, though, is that every day that President Trump has been in court, he's been getting $1 million or more in small dollar donations that are coming in online.
I didn't know that.
It is true that we have the president's team, Joe Biden's team, has a lead because they've been in the White House for 4 years. We have been making up ground very fast, and we will absolutely have the resources that we need to be able to get our message out to the American voters.
All right, Michael Whatley, thank you.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.